Hello, it is week 21 of the road to 100 interviews, and I've just been busy making these little bears. I have more. There's this one. I wanted to start this video by saying thank you to Keith Brown and Doc Walker for sharing my last video. It is now one of the most popular videos that I've done this year, which I think is kind of hilarious because I mostly talked about dying. So, so thank you for your interest. I don't get out much, as you know, other than these concerts and things, and I do find myself reading obituaries often. And one thing I don't like, there's a funeral home where I used to live, and they will not take it seriously, I find, sometimes when they're writing people's obituaries. And I get that they're trying to make it a little lighthearted so you feel better, but when I die, do not put LOL in my obituary, please and thank you. I have an obituary for Julia Child, and I highlighted certain parts. Oh, and then on the back it says, baseball bat, sleeping companion. This obituary was written by Joel Stein. I think that's how you say his name. It might be Joel Steen. And yet, even to my teenage brain, she was clearly a badass. She explained sides of beef by pointing to her own body. She tore at suckling pig ribs with her giant bare hands. And then later it says, she dropped stuff on the floor, wiped it off, and said, "Remember, you're all alone in the kitchen and no one can see you." This is the kind of obituary I'm talking about. And also, this is a note from Keith. If you want to put that somewhere, like on the program, that I was magical, that would be great. The first person that I want to try and interview this week is Joel Plaskett. He's an artist that I've seen many times, but I've only ever seen him at the Aeolian Hall in London, which is a very old building, and they do have a step to get in, but they also have a portable ramp, which is awesome. Not many places have those. And so I really wanted to meet Joel Plaskett, and who wouldn't? And so I went early the first time to see him, and I thought, oh, maybe if I go early, he might come out and I'll get a picture with him and maybe get an autograph. And he did, but when he came out, he just looked mortified, and he was like, "Do you need help? I'll help you. I'll get you a ramp." And it was like, don't worry about it. There's a ramp. They just have to bring it out. But it just really took me back, like how kind he was. Like when I think of people, that are as well known as Joel, you don't think about them going to physically help you get into the venue, and usually that's like an usher. So I always remember that conversation with Joel, and like didn't just end there. Like he actually came out and stood there and talked to me for a really long time about accessibility, and like asked me how I got there and how I planned to get home, and just trying to make sure that everything was safe and accessible. I wanted to try and interview a band called Nice Horse. They are an all-female band, and they're really wonderful people. And actually, Brandy from Nice Horse was the first artist to ever share my photos on social media. So when I met them again at the CCMAs, Tim Deegan introduced me and said, "This is Annette," and he asked me, have you met Nice Horse before? I said, "Oh, yes." And then Brandy said, "Oh, you take really awesome pictures. I remember. Near the beginning of this project, I reached out to Ross Hull, and he did write me back, but we were unable to complete the interview at that time. And I understand, because I think Ross has been busy since his childhood, but I just wanted to try again. I'm getting really close to the end of this road to 100 interviews. I do have an interview scheduled in June, and as long as that goes through, then I only need 5 more people. So I'm starting to wrap things up a little bit. One question that I ask everyone, no matter what their job is what are you looking forward to? And I do not have a job, but I thought I would answer the question anyway. I am looking forward to the road to 100 interviews being over. I spend so much time making these videos that I don't really have time for like art or other hands-on things. I end up hoarding a lot of different papers, and I like to put them in my scrapbook so that at least it's organized and put away. These are also my Crystal Shawanda questions. So I've been working on my scrapbook. When I'm done this interview, I'll cut these out and put them in there. After I finished the interview with Chris Stiller, I got an email that said, "Would you like to do an interview with Robin Ottolini at Wednesday at 12? And I was like, yes, I would.